Good morning, everybody. Hope your evening went well. We had another scorcher here in Wichita, north of 100. Supposed to get to 100 again today, then tomorrow in the low 90s, so life might be getting better. It is that time of year. We've dried out a bunch. The corn and bean crops are stressed. The southern half of the state needs moisture to keep those crops going and to bring in a bumper crop. But if you look at the price of the grains on the board, the crop's doing pretty well in Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. So we're not big producers down here. We can get the grains we need for the livestock industry, but it always helps to have them grown right next to the lot to cut down transportation costs. Meat's expensive. We do have news today that can definitely impact the trading, but let's just take a look at where this market is. We have a buyer clearly below 24. And we have rejected prices, you can see all the way up here in the 9 to 10 area, and then the other day 7. So, and then we have the overnight session high of 6. So we got a seller 6 to 9. And we're in a trading range. And longer term, the bias is still to the upside, and we see that reflected in the knob spread. The long-term player is long the 30-year, short the 10, and the yield curve is flattened. Now, when the yield curve flattens, it does not guarantee a recession, but things usually slow down. And so we're looking at maybe growth for 2014, even with good growth in the second half of the year in the 1.7 area, which is very, very low for the United States. We're normally in the 2.5 to 3% range. So given the current administration's just flooding all industries with new rules and regulations, given higher taxes, given the amount of people that have fallen out of the workforce, so we shouldn't really be surprised at these lower growth rates. So that's where we are. And the financials are suggesting that this number may actually be lower than what is forecast right now. So today we have news. We have durable orders. Boeing is back in the news with a huge aircraft orders out of Asia from 2 leasing companies. And that's called up plus 5.1. X-transportation is the number that they'll focus on. That's plus 0.4. That's not a very robust number, but it is positive nonetheless. FHFA price index, and this is what the Fed is really concentrating on. They want to see inflation in real estate prices plus 0.3. Case-Shiller plus 8.3 year on year in the 20 large metropolitan areas. That's down from plus the high 10s or 11s. So real estate appreciation is slowing in our 20 major metropolitan areas. Consumer confidence, a big number, lower than last month, but still pretty high at 89.5. And then Richmond Fed at 8. Then once this news is out of the way, and X-transportation will be number 1, and number 2 will be consumer confidence. Once this is out of the way, then the focus will go to a 2-year, and 2-year auctions are never bad. So my guess is we're going to see the 2-year auction take place above 126, maybe in this 2604 area, 2603. and we'll play for volume moving up in the distributions. And we'll be capped by volume up here at 2614, and we'll probably be supported down below with volume at 28. So our first sell is 5 to 9. We're just leaning against resistance. And then our second sell is 11 to 15. And again, that's just leaning against resistance. There's no magic there. Buy number 1 is 29 to 25. And then 21 to 17. Now, if my assessment of the trading range is incorrect, if the trading range is 26 even to 28, and we'll get a pretty good idea of this on the first rotate down, 29s may not be doable. We may have to pay as high as 01s, and the support, we won't know until this number is out right here. Durable orders, X transportation, where it's going to be. So we're going to play on this. We're going to play for this number maybe being a little bit better than forecast, take the market down, and then hopefully we can get in at a reasonable level. But we may have to pay 01s to get in before it's all said and done. The 5 to 9 sell is just strictly against where our resistance is right now, and we're down to the nose. So we're going to give it a little room on the downside, 25, 29 on the buy, 17 to 21, and we'll see how that plays out. Okay, do you like the red or the black better? The red to me gets lost in the long-term distribution, so I like the black better. There's a vote for red. We're still on red. Black, we're 50-50. Well, I'll do it in black this time, and maybe we can get a better response. Our sample size is pretty darn small. Okay, the knob spread is holding in. It is really, really, really strong. The long-term players, they've been in the knob spread since the first part of the summer when it would get as low as maybe 10.24, 10.16, and 11s and 12s. We're at 14.28 now. And it's been a great spread to be into. In the last week, you could have gotten into it at 14. So this market is pointed higher. You can just see how volume has moved up. Put all this together, we're knocking at the top of this one, 14.21. So the lazy man's way of figuring out where resistance is, 02 is a low volume number, 07 is a low volume number, 12 is a low volume number, and then 17 is a low volume number. So we're currently at 29. We'll make this 141.04 sell 1. And then we'll make 7 to 11 sell 2. On the buy side, 21 to 25. We're going to pay up a little bit here because of the knob spread. The interest in the long end, and 13 to 17 will be buy 2. Okay, gold came up a little bit last night. The biggest thing going on internationally is that, and you'd have to wonder why we rallied off of this, but Russia, the Ukraine, Belarus, and another country are sitting down to talk out their problems. So gold is sold into this meeting, now it's rallied. So I mean, it's just, it's hard to get a read. So resistance is 90 to 92. Going to sell a 90 area plus or minus, and then we have this very, very clean 96, 95, so we'll make 95, sell 2 plus or minus. On the buy side, we had the breakout from 83. Have to slow down here, so we'll make 83, 85, buy 1. And then basically 80 plus or minus for buy 2. So the meeting between the combatants, I don't see why that would make gold rally, other than just anticipating not getting a deal. And nobody expects them to get a deal. Okay, the euro's come back a little. Because Germany is the biggest investor in Russia, Germany's got more clout. Germany is also Russia's biggest customer for natural gas. So they have a chance of being able to reach Russia better than anybody else. And the bottom line is that if you have a materialistic-based philosophy, in a sense, you're only in it for the money. And Putin is reputed to have, $40 billion worth of money that he's taken out of the hide of Russia when you get right down to it. It's amazing that those oligarchs that run every industry in Russia right now, how wealthy the top couple ones are. And if they get too much money and they get too independent, then Putin confiscates it. So isn't it just amazing how any business that prospers, the first person that gets paid is the government. And if you screw with the government, they're going to make you less prosperous. It's just kind of one of those laws written around the world. They're there with their hands out first. So we got into our number 2 sell zone yesterday, which was at, our number 1 sell zone was 32.05 to 15, followed by 25 to 35. So we got into our number 1 sell zone. And we're at 93, so we'll just keep that. So our sell for the euro last night worked out really, really well. And then we have this spill up here, this 20, so we'll make 25 to 35, sell 2. I don't like the long side of the market. We'll do like we did last night, 75 to 85, buy 1. I can't see that Russia and the Ukraine are going to come to an agreement. The mitigating fact is that the Ukraine winter is approaching and they need the gas and the revenues from that gas as badly as Russia does. And that will tend to hold things in check. So I'm guessing with Reg that the first day's meeting, very productive talks, no conclusions or agreements were reached. We're going to meet again tomorrow. Okay, crude oil. Everything was up a little bit last night, no breakouts. Crude oil is still telling us that the flow of crude oil through the Persian Gulf will remain as it is right now. The United States has said that they will not inform Syria of when they make airstrikes on Syrian territory proper. Syria lost an air base yesterday in the northeast, which was, I think that was the last bit of Assad's control or footprint in that province of Syria. So again, if you just take a look at the market, this 94.50 to 25 is the ideal sell zone. And on the buy side, 93 has worked out to be pretty good. So we're at 93.61, so 93 and a quarter will be buy 1. 50 to 75 will be buy 2. On the sell side, 75 to the buck will be sell 1. And then 25 to 50 will be sell 2. And we're just, we find ourselves right smack dab in the middle of this trading range. Not really a lot of advantage in taking a position right here. So a little patience should pay off. Okay, everybody's favorite market, the E-mini. We had a guy that's got a good reputation came out and said 2050 is it. That's a good way to get your name in the headlines or in an article and get posted around the world by picking tops. It's kind of like the end is near, whatever it may be. For a company, for the country, for the globe, for the rally. It's just a way to get in the press. So what I've noticed about trading in the E-mini is that the 35 area, when we take out a round number like 2,000, pretty easy to get to a quarter, but this 35 to 50 area, the market tends to slow down. So we've talked about it since June that we're going to 2,000. Why? Because the market expects to go to 2,000. So we're in the same situation that we were yesterday. If we can't extend and take out and make new highs, we can sell failure to take out 2,000. Then our second sell will be 4 to 6, letting them get stops above us. My guess is come Friday, we will close this market above 2,000. Going into a long 3-day weekend, end of the week, end of the month, if I'm a large institution out there and my compensation is based on the performance of my the portfolios that I manage, I'm a pretty reluctant seller when it comes to the end of the month. On the buy side, we're at 97.50. I'd like to do the 93.95 area. And then we can see this little area right in here, this 87 area, 88, so 86, 88 would be my second buy. And the news will impact this. Durable orders, 5 plus, 5.1. Ex-transportation, 0.4. Housing index, 0.3. Case-Shiller, still positive, plus 8.3. And then consumer confidence, while lower, still fairly high number since 2009. Historically, it's not a very high number. So this ex-transportation number right here is going to be our number 1 focus, and then consumer confidence will be number 2. So the big news will be out of the way at 8:30 Eastern. Okay, it'll take at least 20 minutes to get everything up around and posted. Today may not be a breakout day. We may just stop at 2,000. A lot of it's dependent upon the early news. If as forecast, the news would be supportive for the indexes, showing growth. So I will be back up as soon as I can.